Hello and welcome to Stellaris, and not just any Stellaris playthrough, this is a multiplayer playthrough with our very good friend and long-time channel supporter, I suppose. It's Corrant. How you doing, man?
Good, thank you, and I'll emphasise support it in a non-financial sense.
Yeah, that's right, we don't have any sponsors.
Unfortunately.
Um, no, but you're always willing to step in when I need someone to be another voice, which is greatly appreciated.
I'm always a free voice.
We are at the moment about 3 hours in, and you are going to get an episode, ideally before this one, but who knows, that's going to give you a brief overview of what's happened up till now, but we're also going to give you a rundown now before I unpause the game. I am playing as an alternative version of the Zeroan state from the single player playthrough. I'm going to shut this robot up. Now, what you'll see is we are a moral democracy. Our current Prime Minister is Prime Minister Yan Cheng, and she has been elected to that position. We've got a charismatic bonus and an explorer bonus from her, which is helping our science. And our ethics are xenophile, pacifist, and materialist, which kind of is restricting us in a certain sense, but we've also got a bonus to naval capacity that we picked up later on. Now, the main thing that's going on at the moment is we are trying to stabilize our economy. It's fluctuated up and down. Research is reasonably strong, although it could be better. What you do see is that we're quite low on influence because I left some edicts running which have been draining that, and that's preventing us from hiring inspiring leaders. It's going to hold us back a little bit. The main problem at the moment as well is that some of our colonies, because we are native to Arctic worlds, some of our colonies aren't producing enough food, so that's something that over the course of the episode I'm going to try and get up to scratch. And now I'm going to let Corrant talk you through his empire and what's going on for him while I move around the galaxy map.
On my side, it's a Terran empire. It's called the League of Terran Planets. And we are all descended from Donald Trump. Donald Trump became the God Emperor, similar in the Warhammer universe, and we all follow his divine rule now in this glorious age of technology. And it's a materialistic democracy with a science-leaning science directorate, so we get better research, speed, and options. And at the moment, I need to colonize more planets because I made a little bit of a mistake in only colonizing one planet, and I realize now that I need a lot more. Otherwise, an alien nation is going to encroach on my borders, and I'm only going to have 2 planets. And if they invade one, take the home world even, then I'm utterly screwed.
Now, we've both specialised in energy weapons to a certain extent. You have a technological lead, I think, when it comes to warfare, although I currently have a larger navy, I suspect. And should we talk through the geopolitical situation really quick, and then I'll unpause. So you were actually able to make contact with a lot of empires quite quickly, whereas I was in isolation for the first 2.5 hours, I think, and I stumbled across these guys, the Eurasian Coalition, who really do not like me. Very
I've
late.
Not met them yet.
Very late in that first scenario. I'm not too worried about them at the moment, however. What I am worried about is the Kraxros Star Principality, who seem to have a problem with both the League of Terran Planets and the Zeroan State, and you can see I've set up a militarized border, or I'm beginning to, in order to control their access points to our space. Now, presumably, that means for you then, you have to figure out a way to reach their systems.
Yes, I've just noticed something in the middle of all that. Is a vortex. The
Yeah, I see it.
Pathaban vortex, which I'm not sure what that actually. It's a black hole. So I'm not sure if that's actually going to cause major problems, even traversing through that little bit of space to get to that empire. But I'm going to have to attempt to make good friends with the Tebram Imperium or the Bothrian Mandate to try and get access through their space to help Zero attack our mutual enemy. They're probably very nice people, but they need to die. The Kraxros Star Principality.
Yeah, I mean the issue that we have actually. I mean, I'm playing very much as a pacifist state. I don't want to start trouble, but trouble is finding me. We both struggled early on with aliens, particularly me, and what you see is of Astivum and at Gamma Draconis, as well as Aldebaran, we were pinned in by aggressive aliens that it took quite a long period of time before I could break out of that and start to connect with the wider universe. Suskat's Moor, the black hole on the, let's call it the southern border of my territory, is full of aliens that I am not strong enough to defeat, and so that route is automatically blocked to me. Now, within Corrant's territory, what you see is he's actually only got 2 entry and exit points to his system. His little cluster of stars there is actually quite it's quite restricted, and
it is quite. Fortunately for me, the majority of empires, because I was the opposite of Zero, and I had loads of empires saying hello in the early game. But fortunately, none of them are very aggressive to me. And in fact, to the south of me, the Glia are very friendly. They're, I think, a pacifist nation as well. And so they want to be friends, which is very fortunate for me because they're really pushing on my borders.
And so basically what it looks like to me is, and we didn't go into this deciding to work together from the outset, I should say that from the start, but we've actually spawned in with a lot of dictatorships and a lot of oligarchies that run diametrically opposed to my empire's moral philosophy, and the closest we have to other democracies are actually the League of Terran Planets, which is a science directorate, but it is at least a democratic science directorate, and the Bothrian Mandate. The others are all inherently undemocratic. Many of them employ slaves, and slaves are like robots. I'm going to unpause the game in a minute. Both of those have benefits and drawbacks. On the slavery front, you can actually get a massive boost to your economy and production by employing slaves, and you can even set a policy to enslave only alien races. Migration is very much a thing, and culture and ethics come into play massively, including within your own population. Both Corrant and myself have had elements of our own population break away from us and form pirate factions, and they can break away and declare independence on worlds as well. So keeping your empire together is something you've got to really work at. Secondly, robotics will become increasingly important, and you can obviously gain a lot of benefit from using the robotics that you discover and developing AI, but the AI can actually turn on you. Also, you can cause mass unemployment amongst your populace, which also has a negative effect. So there's a lot for us to balance here. What I would say at the moment is, what you can probably see is my area for expansion is pretty obvious. I'm not really an expansive player in these games. I tend to concentrate into a small area, but there are some pinch points that I'm going to have to move to grab, and there's some resources in between. So as long as I'm not coming into direct conflict with anybody, I think I can expand quite safely. Corrant, on the other hand, the League of Terran Planets, has a very limited scope for expansion unless they move quickly. So
if you're looking on your star map at the moment, Zero, then I'm at the moment going to have to. There's a body of crystalline entities, which I think Star Trek: The Next Generation would be suing this company for. But there's those to the east of my borders, and those have actually stopped any empire from taking those planets. So if I'm able to wipe out those crystalline entities, then I can expand to the east.
Yeah, I mean, what I'd like to do is get some corvettes round to you to support you with the crystalline entity, but I don't have a negotiated route through the space that I need. I'm going to try. I think the Bothrian Mandate might work with me, but the Yaxkalot Combine do not like me at all, and I'm guessing they won't even give me access for civilian ships, let alone military ships. And the routes round are already closed off to me. You see, if you look at the Kraxros Star Principality, you'll see right on the border there's the Bihiram system, and I would need to control that system in order to open up any other route through to you, and even then it's an incredibly convoluted and long route. So between us...
What's your friendliness with the Bothrians like, by the way?
It's improving because we've got a very similar political situation, but there's not actually, I can't jump from my space directly into theirs at the moment. Well, not my main body of space anyway. That means I need to keep that corridor open. You see the Strom system? I'm going to have to make sure I keep that as well, and that the cracks ROS don't block that off. Anyway, I'm going to unpause the game. Why don't we talk Navy for a moment? I'm currently fielding the 3rd generation of my Corvette class. It's called the Blue Streak class, and that's armed with blue lasers and blue plasma throwers, which is the highest technology I have at the moment. I believe, Corrant, you have disruptors available to you.
We're researching disruptors at the moment in current ship design that we've just put into production. We've got small space torpedoes and plasma throwers attached, and that's been researched fairly recently. They're more expensive than the generic Corvette than you start out with. Have the same build time, fortunately, and I'm building another fleet of about 6 of those to join up with another fleet of 6 basic Corvettes to try and take out these crystalline entities in the Thegalan system, which is on the right-hand side of my territory. So I'm still on Corvettes. I am looking forward to when we have the ability to build destroyers or capital ships of any kind. But building up the fleet from my my prime planet is what I'm doing at the moment, and I have an abundance of minerals, so it's there's the money to build that fleet as well.
Now I'm going to have to move to take that Strom system, because that corridor is really important to me. So that's what I'm going to do first of all.
I'm trying to send now in games like this, it's often very difficult to find the niche, the sweet spot where you can make deals with other empires. Even when they're friendly with you, it seems quite difficult. So I'm trying to negotiate some deals with the Bothrians.
Now this is interesting. The Krax ROS Star Principality has frigates. I'm looking at one now. It looks pretty mean. 1 large weapon, 2 small. It looks like missiles combined with projectile weapons. And my science officer, one of my science officers, has become a drug abuser. This game is so deep. That's what I love about it. It's fantastic.
Does it have negative effects for him?
Yes, it does.
Oh.
I'm going to move my defensive fleet, my first defensive fleet, through to the Strom system in case this frigate gets a bit feisty, because I'm going to be building a frontier station here, and I don't want them to fuck with that.
Complete.
I've made a nice little pact here with the Bothrians, which is a non-aggression pledge and a research deal as well.
Now that is good. That is very good.
I only had to give them some minerals. And I think what I would like to do is keep the Bothrians friendly, and then we might be able to, I might be able to negotiate, passage through their space. I can still get to the Cax ROS Star Principality through that tiny little gap, but as soon as that's gone, then it'll be a lot more difficult. And you can't automatically violate people's territory by flying into them, I don't think. Or if you do, it has significant consequences.
I'm trying to get a civilian ship access, but I'm guessing, yeah, even asking puts minus 1,000 on the deal.
Well, as the Empire of the God Emperor Trump, it's all about the art of the deal.
It is all about the art of the deal. I'm going to have to give them quite a lot here just to get their star charts. They won't give me a research agreement either. Right, let me see who does like me. The Yaks Kalok Combine are big time buddies with me. But they're rivals with the Bothrian Mandate, which is going to cause us a problem. And they're despots. Oh, there's a primitive feudal.
Oh.
The Yaks Kalok Combine have put a ship in my... a signed ship in my territory.
Now, at the moment, I'm just going over my construction ships, looking around to see if there's any worlds that I could colonize, and getting my fleet up and running.
I'm not sure what I can do here. Do you have... Can you trade influence with me for energy credits?
Yes, I can. Influence, I know, is fairly hard to stock up in this game. How much influence are you after?
I'm after 74. And I'll pay handsomely.
There'll be people maybe screaming that that's a bad deal. But in the interests of partnership, I'll use your military strength in the future, I'm sure. So you can.
I'm just building an expeditionary fleet right now, so so that I don't have to rely on a single group of corvettes. And I can pay you in energy credits, so I know you were struggling for those originally.
We're a bit better for energy credits now.
Yeah, this is annoying though. The system I'm about to piss people off over has got no resources in it. It's purely a gateway system for me. But I need it to be open. Meanwhile,
I've got quite a lot of empires establishing embassies on my planet, so I hope that's a good thing. I've had that insectoid woodlouse race just establish an embassy with me, and I think that's a good thing because it must mean, you know, in the long term it's going to cause less conflict, or at least delay it.
I think I need another construction ship, to be honest. I'm getting to that point.
We'll see how this fleet is coming along.
What is it you're building? Talk us through it.
It's corvettes. Currently there's 7 corvettes which are going to join up with another 6 corvettes to take down these crystalline entities, because they are in the way of expansion and we need breathing room. And they're actually very powerful indeed, and each starship or entity in space that can attack you has quite clear military power points on the icon for that unit, so you can see if you're going to lose badly or have a fairly good chance of beating the enemy. and I've just colonized another world, so which is key to expansion, really. And getting your energy is very important from your new colonies as well. They're a major source for energy credits.
System survey complete.
Right, I'm about to build an observation outpost to monitor a pre-industrial civilization that isn't yet within my borders, but it's going to have to be. My problem is my influence. I really have a problem gaining influence. Research is coming along okay.
Say what?
My research is coming along okay. Yeah, I'm just worried about the Strom system. I've got a military station there at the moment, but it's not technically my territory. So we will see. I'm going to move my defense fleet out to clear the last of these aliens. It's a void cloud in the Olam system, which is one of the entry and exit points from our system.
I've also got a research. Oh, at least one of your planets suffers from starvation. That's my main planet as well.
Yeah, yeah, I've got the same thing, so we're gonna have to do something about it.
Enough Trump steaks to go round.
What we'll have to do is build some hydroponic farms, I guess. That is bad news. That's really neglectful of me. Yeah, there's not a lot I can do here, actually. I've just been contacted by the Associated Ataliad Regions. They were listening to another communications of another empire we are in contact with. We greet you as equals, Star Travelers. Alright, I'm starting to build some hydroponic farms. And I'm going into battle now.
As am I.
Oh, best of luck.
Before your ships get destroyed.
No, actually, I mean, it's not all my latest version of these corvettes, but it's the latest ones and the previous ones, and they're proving pretty resilient, actually.
I'm wondering if there's lots of different texture effects and particle effects for different weapons. That's going to be interesting to see.
Yes, there are. I'm looking at them right now.
Because I know there's nukes in this game, and I love a nuke. We've got to use these nukes. We haven't used them in years.
Well, you can tell that you guys worship the Trump.
Situation log update.
It's also interesting when you warp into a system. There is a cooldown period between the time that you warp in and when you can move about again.
Yeah, for you it's longer as well because you've got warp drive. I'm using hyperspace. I love that that's an option as well. I love that you can spec into totally different technologies and fleet combat stats. Man, my navy's coming along quite nicely for a pacifist state. I need to move people onto this farm. That we know for sure. Yeah, we only need to create one more food on Anvil to make that work.
Construction complete.
Let's take a look at my other planets and see how they're doing. Treadway is also starving, so let's sort that out. I need planetary administration, whatever that is. Right, so just to go over the diplomatic situation again at the moment, Grant seems to be having a better time making friends than I do. The only people who really like me are ones that I really don't need to like me at all, and the really key players are very cool towards me at the moment. What we do see, looking at it at the moment, is we're going to be hemmed in quite quickly, actually, very quickly indeed. I'm going to have to move much more quickly to colonize worlds and get my shit in order. So let's do that.
I've just killed the crystalline entities. I think they were some ancient spacefaring species that have lived for millions of years in the depths of space. They're dead now. They're dead now.
But they're dead now. Can you give me 32 influence?
Yes, I can spare you 32 influence.
Technically I need quite a lot more than that, but I feel guilty asking. Well, actually, maybe I don't need it. No, I do. I'm sorry, I do. I take that back. What I do need to do, though, is order a new colony ship.
As I do, I need to try and grab this colony before anybody else does.
Construction complete.
Tell me, are you building armies?
The fleet which is annihilated... no, I haven't built any armies, no, and I need to know about that. Do you have any info for me on that?
Yeah, there seems to be assault squads and defensive armies. So if you click on a colony, there's the armies tab, and they also act as police as well as defenders.
Right. Ah, yes, recruit.
So that's what keeps your empire in order, I suppose. Okay, I've dealt with my starvation problem at last, which is a good thing. Although I've burnt through all my minerals. I've still got a lot of energy credits though, but that's good because that covers my operating expenses. Also, you can see edicts for your planets as well as your empires, so you can run like the Land of Opportunity for 120 influence, and that encourages migration to that world. Now, Corrant's people are the only people I've allowed to settle within my borders. I don't know yet if we are... Unidentified Empire has declared war on the associated Ataliad regions. So there is a war breaking out already.
Sounds like it's hopefully quite far away from us, though.
Seems like it. Oh wow, this is interesting. These guys are really friendly to me, the ones that have just had war declared on them. If I thought I could back it up, I'd be tempted to declare their independence, but the Kraxros Star Principality have moved to completely block me off. Actually, they're squeezed up against an unidentified empire. So I really don't know what's going on there because I can't get active sensors. Anyway, I think that was my colony ship completing. Governor Constanza Fernandez has leveled up and gained the trait Iron Fist. I'm not shaping up to be very pacifist here, it seems. Okay, we're fighting once again. I'm actually going to bail out of this fight. And I'll tell you why. Because there is not enough firepower to make it work. Let's take a look how research is going. Not great. We're about to unlock, within 7 months, the second level of hyperdrive, which is going to help us out pretty massively. It seems... Oh, I've just lost the connection to you. Just make sure we save where we are. Thanks very much for joining me, and I'm sure Corrant sends his thanks as well. I think we'll call that an episode, and if you haven't already seen the opening 3 hours of this, which will be edited down, I will be sure to edit those down and provide them to you shortly. You guys take care, and I hope you're having an awesome week. We will hang out again soon.